Lance, Maria, and Martin had faced many challenges on their adventures, but none were as formidable as the Goblin Lord. He was a powerful and cruel being, with an army of goblins at his command. And he had been wreaking havoc on the land, burning villages and enslaving the inhabitants. The trio knew they had to stop the Goblin Lord before it was too late. They set out on a journey to find him, braving all manner of dangers along the way. They encountered fierce monsters and treacherous foes, but they never let that deter them. As they journeyed deeper into the mountains, they finally caught sight of the Goblin Lord's fortress. It was a dark and foreboding place, with walls of black stone and a moat filled with boiling lava. The trio knew that this would be their toughest battle yet. They gathered all of their strength and prepared for the fight of their lives. As they charged into the fortress, they were confronted by an army of goblins, all loyal to the Goblin Lord. The battle raged on for hours, with Lance, Maria, and Martin fighting with all their might. Just when all seemed lost, they caught sight of the Goblin Lord himself. He was even more formidable than they had imagined, with long sharp claws and teeth that glinted in the darkness. The trio fought bravely against the Goblin Lord, but he was a skilled fighter, and they were barely able to keep up. As the battle raged on, Lance was gravely wounded and lay on the ground, barely conscious. Maria and Martin knew they had to act fast. They redoubled their efforts and fought with all their might, determined to save their friend. In a final, desperate move, they were able to defeat the Goblin Lord. But as they tended to Lance's wounds, they realized that the Goblin Lord had escaped. He had fled into the mountains, and they knew he would return to seek revenge. The trio knew that they had to stop the Goblin Lord once and for all. The journey to track down the Goblin Lord was long and perilous. The trio faced all manner of dangers as they journeyed through the mountains, from fierce monsters to treacherous terrain. But they never gave up. They knew that they had to stop the Goblin Lord before he could wreak any more havoc on the world. Finally, after many months of searching, they caught sight of the Goblin Lord's hideout. It was a dark and foreboding cave, deep in the heart of the mountains. The trio knew that this would be their final battle. They gathered all of their strength and prepared for the fight of their lives. As they charged into the cave, they were confronted by the Goblin Lord and his loyal minions. The battle raged on for hours, with Lance, Maria, and Martin fighting with all their might. But this time, they were better prepared. They had learned from their past mistakes and fought with a ferocity they had never known before. In a final, epic showdown, they were able to defeat the Goblin Lord once and for all. As the Goblin Lord lay defeated at their feet, the trio knew that they had saved the world from his evil clutches. They returned home as heroes, hailed by all who heard their tale. Lance, Maria, and Martin knew that they had been through many adventures together, but this one would always be remembered as the greatest of all. They had faced unimaginable dangers and emerged victorious, thanks to the strength of their friendship.